Alright. Peace again. Man, there's a lot of stuff out here. I feel like the dude, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I gotta pull that up. That's my man right there. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't gonna pull it up. But another brother did a video and he was saying that, you know, motherfuckers ain't ready for revolution. And he's talking about us. Brown, black, Afro-American, African-American, niggas, whatever, hood motherfuckers, whatever terminology you want to use. We beat ourselves down more than anybody. And here's a point, you know what I'm saying? And this brother is a blogger. What's his name? TheNikbagtvZone. Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and build on this build that you did about the brother Lupe Fiasco, and that he looked really dumb on the Bill O'Reilly factor. Excuse me. Man, I couldn't believe I heard that. I couldn't believe that I heard you say what you said, brother. You know what I'm saying? You really believe? First of all, you know what? Let's just get into your video, and then we'll build on it from there. Cause I'm confused, man. I am so confused. Maybe you can enlighten me.
aka Blogaholic. Right now, man, I want to talk about Lupe Fiasco's appearance on the Bill O'Reilly factor and him defending his statements for calling President Barack Obama a terrorist. Now, before my last blog,
alright, boom, let's go with that. So basically what this is about, if anybody watching, this is about Lupe Fiasco calling Obama a terrorist. If you heard the song, it was the song, what was the name of the damn song? I forgot the name. I can't remember the name of the song, but that's my shit. That's real. Damn right he's a terrorist. Because, let's go. Let's just listen to the video. Let's just do it like that. Let's do it like that. Break it down.
That was the idiotic comment from Lupe. I basically explained that he has too many people that follow him for him to say stuff like this, and it's just real irresponsible for him.
Irresponsible, and this is kind of the same comment that that we heard Bill O'Reilly say. So you saying that a motherfucker who is in a position of power or influence over a bunch of people, that he needs to shut up and follow suit with everybody else and not speak his mind. Period. Just speak his mind, whether he feel whether he feel, but whether what he's saying is true or not. If he feel it's true, and if he feel this is his opinion, this is his statement, why shouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? Who was that? I think it was Charles Barkley or somebody that stated, you know, I ain't no motherfucking role model. I ain't no role model. Lupe ain't no role model. He's a motherfucking rapper, an MC. He's supposed to say controversial shit. He's supposed to say what's on his mind. He's supposed to be thought-provoking. He's supposed to spark a conversation. You feel what I'm saying? But let's build on.
Because it doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of going overboard. Like I said before, I'm not an Obama supporter. I feel like Obama, I'm not an Obama supporter, but I'm starting to learn now that it's really not all Obama's fault. Like, he has to...
Look, nobody's blaming Obama. And if you listen to the bill that Lupe gave on the show, he basically said, he's saying Obama is the terrorist because Obama is now the president, the commander-in-chief. And the reason why he's saying Obama is the president is because the same reason that the other presidents before him and the presidents after him, if you heard him, Bill, he also stated they are all going to be terrorists. Because what? Because the Americans' government is a terrorist entity by their presence in places in the world. Not necessarily, they're not terrorists to us. I mean, some people could say that too, but we live in America, so they're not occupying our country. We live in America and they're Americans. But you ask an Iraqi, you ask an Afghani, you ask a motherfucker in what other places? Man, we all over the place. So in Korea, in places like that where the American government has went in, bombed, war, and caused all types of destruction in a particular place, and then set up camp and stay there. And then think about the fact that the American government is like the ruling power of the world, with some exceptions if you want to get into economics with China and all that type of stuff. But I'm just saying we are the military-industrial complex. We run the world through our military force. That's terrorism, G. Let's look up the word terror, because a terrorist is just basically a person who practice terrorism. So let's see what terrorism says. The definition of terrorism is, the first one is the use of violence and threats to immediate or to immediate, especially for political, mediate. Where did I get that word? To intimidate, especially for political purposes. Would you say, based off that definition, is that something that America does? All right, let's go to the second definition. A state of fear, submission, produced by terrorism or terrorizing. Imagine you living in Afghanistan or Iraq or something like that, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a bunch of American soldiers come in, bombing shit, taking over the town, locking people up and shit like that. No matter how bad your government is, now we all think that our government had problems, but let's say in China, somebody say, well, shit, I want to come over here and teach America how to take care of their people, and they come over here and start bombing shit and trying to run shit and say that they helping us. We wouldn't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't need their help. We got to do it ourselves. That's terrorist, to go to somebody else's spot and start shit. So let's go into the third definition. A terroristic method of governing or restraining or restraining a government. I'm restraining. Am I saying that right? Yeah, restraining. So, you know, all that is what America does, man. You know, now I'm not saying the intent, because I don't know the intent, because I don't know who was the person who gave the order for the people to go over there. You know what I'm saying? But what we saying is the act of terrorism is going to be manifested by the person who is being terrorized. So when Lupe was saying that Obama is a terrorist, he is stating because of America's policy when it comes to war, occupations of other countries and things of that nature. That's a terrorist act, to go to somebody else's land and think that you have the right to police in somebody else's land and to control and to rule, you know, even if for a brief moment. That's a terrorist act, G. Well, go on with your bill.
Answers to other people. That's just how politics work. That's how the presidency worked, and we should know that. He has an answer to other people.
I thought he was the commander-in-chief. I thought he was the president, the ruler of the free world. Who the fuck is he answering to?
To get what he wants to get done, whatever that is. And some things he have to do where, hey, he got to take one for the team. And for Lupe Fiasco to call Barack Obama and all the other presidents terrorists, it's kind of crazy on his part. I'm going to tell you why. Like, if I said it, it means nothing, because I might get 100 people to look at it, and 90 people going to say I'm an idiot. The other 10, probably 8 going to say whatever, and probably 2 people going to believe it and repeat it. Who knows? But a guy like Lupe saying, who has like over 100,000 whatever followers, it's going to be, you know, replicated, and people going to start, you know, they emotionally invested in Lupe, so they might take on that.
So you trying to say that we stupid? You trying to say that the average motherfucker in the hood or the average motherfucker that listen to Lupe Fiasco music can't decipher for themselves what part of his songs that they gonna take to heart? You know what I'm saying? So when you listen to music, you listen to the gangster rap, you listen to motherfuckers talk about shooting, killing, robbing and shit like that. Are you doing that? Would you do that because you heard that in the music? So that means that every time I see you getting into that understanding where they start talking about the National Defense Authorization Act, patrolling and controlling what a motherfucker must and can say, because they think that it may cause other people to do something else. This is America. We have freedom of speech. We can say what we want. And just because he's a rapper, just because he's famous, just because people listen to his music and buy his music, you know, don't mean that he's supposed to watch what the fuck he say. He's supposed to say what the fuck he mean. Bill.
That whole philosophy. Not only that, Not only that, but Lupe has no right to tell another person in a position that they are terrorists when he doesn't even have control over his own record.
So now you say, you think about what you say. You said Lupe don't have a right to tell somebody in a position. You see what I'm saying? You are putting yourself in a position of being controlled, because then what you're saying is that Lupe has no right to say that to the president, to somebody, what I'm assuming you are saying, above him in stature, right? Think about that if that's what you meant.
Sells what he wants to say. Now, just a couple of months ago, he was going to war with his record label because they want to release his album.
What the hell does his record label and his record sales and his desire to have control over his music have to do with it? Yes, maybe they do have control over his music. Why? Because he signed a contract. Why? Because that's a business deal. What the fuck does the president have to do with that? Now, when the president took an oath, he took an oath to uphold the Constitution. He took an oath to do what's right for the American society, right? Did he ask us when he went over to all these places to do things that he doing in the name of us? How many of us are in agreement with this? But you're right, Obama didn't start that, but that's why he didn't say just Obama. He said every motherfucking president before him and anyone after him, unless something changes. Let's build on. Hold on. There you go.
And when they released his album, he said he had nothing to do with that album because he didn't even like the songs that they had on the album. That he was forced to make those songs. So a person like Lupe that's forced to make music that basically is a slave. Yes, he's a musical slave. He want to call out another person for not stepping out, doing whatever that person believes is right or fair. It doesn't make any sense. You get the connection?
No, I don't get the connection. It makes perfect sense because that's what he's doing. That's why he told them that he didn't want the music to be put out, or he wanted to be put out at a certain time, whatever his argument was with them. That's why he's on the Bill O'Reilly factor, saying his peace of mind. You see what I'm saying? That's what a real motherfucker do. He say what's on his mind, in his heart, and be real about it, no matter what the fuck everybody else think. Bill.
It's like, come on, Lupe, you can't even control your music. How you gonna, first of all, you can't control your music, and you expect for a president of the United States to be able to control all of this stuff that's going on in the world? It's things.
No. Nobody said that he expect the president to control everything in the world. His comment was that the president is a terrorist. That's what the whole conversation was about on the Bill O'Reilly factor. Nobody said the president has to control it. That was part of the bill, from what I heard from him, with being a terrorist, trying to control all types of shit across. That's what the motherfucker's trying to do. You see what I'm saying? You can't go to Afghanistan. That's like me coming over to your spot looking for somebody that did some wrong to me, and let's say it's your brother, your family, you know what I'm saying? That's like me running up into your spot, talking about where that nigga at. Are you gonna let me come in your house? You gonna let me get your brother? If that's what I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? That's terrorism, man.
That go on as far as war, as far as bombings, that Obama has nothing to do with. He don't even know what's going on, but
he has everything to do with any war and any bombings that America is involved in, because he's the motherfucking president, because he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Nothing's supposed to happen without his say-so. So if it happened, then it was his say-so. So it's his fault. You feel what I'm saying? When you at the top, when you the leader, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to take responsibility to whatever the fuck goes down.
It's Americans acting out it. Like, it's stuff that goes on in these countries. Obama does not know what's going on. Like I said before, he gets information from his staffers. His staffers get information from intelligence. People that's in intelligence is doing what they want to do because no.
So what what are you talking about, son? So you saying that you know, first of all, you know the process on how everything goes in the White House, and then the process sounds logical, you know what I'm saying? That the president get his information from staffers get the information from the intelligence department or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but the president has no control over the intelligence department. So who's in charge? Is it the president or is it the intelligence department? And if it's the intelligence department, who the fuck is that? Who's running the intelligence department? Is it the CIA? Is it the FBI? What? You feel what I'm saying? You talking about Lupe? They don't know what he's talking about. You giving half information, Bill.
One is there to check and balance them. Like the CIA has unlimited resources. They have unlimited bill. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to answer to nobody. So they
what? You saying that the CIA don't have to answer to nobody? Who's the president? Who's Congress? You know, this is America, right? And in America, we have 3 ruling bodies of government. We have the legislative, which is Congress and the Senate. We have the executive, which is the president and his staffers and all that, you know, collectively. But then we have the judicial. Those are our 3 checks and balances. Those 3 entities are supposed to work in conjunction so that no one motherfucker has power. But you just admitted or just said that you believe that there are shadowy forces at work behind the scenes in the CIA, because that's what you said, that is running shit and not answering to the president or Congress or the judicial system. So if that's true, then we have a bigger problem. And then the real big problem is you don't seem worried about that. You're not angry about that. You need to be on the Bill O'Reilly factor telling them about what you just said. Because if that's the case, if the CIA is running the government, not the president, we got a big problem, right? Build on.
Down there doing whatever they want, and they feel like whatever they're doing is for the right or for the good of our country. There's nothing Obama can really do to check that. So when
the president can't check the CIA? Bill.
You call him a terrorist, you basically not looking at the big picture, if you ask me. He look like people.
What's the big picture? You got to get deeper in your bill. You know what I'm saying? Show and prove your understanding. What are you saying? What do you mean? Bill.
He looked like an idiot in front of O'Reilly. He couldn't even explain himself. He just really would.
Boom. So I'm going to stop you right there. You said he couldn't explain himself. Let's go to Bill O'Reilly and Lupe Fiasco. And let's get a good understanding on what happened here. Okay.
Promoting an album called President Obama a Terrorist. Now, we're used to irresponsible statements from rappers, but that's really over the top. So I invited Mr. Fiasco on The Factor to discuss it. What do you mean President Obama is a terrorist?
My fight against terrorism, to me, the biggest terrorist is Obama in the United States of America. To put it into context, I was asked about a song that I did called Words I Never Said, which addresses terrorism.
I really think the war on terror is a bunch of bullshit. Words I Never Said.
So the statement that I made, which was, I believe that the biggest terrorist, Obama, and the United States of America, and its foreign policy. That was what the whole, context of everything.
There it goes, son. That's the word he said. Foreign policy. Which means what? Which means our policy when dealing with people outside of, or countries and places outside of America. Do the knowledge to that and tell me if you don't think that what we're doing constitute as terrorism in that other country. Now you, as an American, may not see it that way, and you have that right. You have freedom over here, right? Supposedly freedom, but you know what I'm saying? What he's saying, he's looking on the outside of himself and looking at somebody else's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Righteously too. That's what Bill
was. And it's really just an expression of me trying to, I guess, understand critically, the society.
President Obama is not a terrorist. He's trying to do what he believes is the right thing to do. The United States is not a bad nation. It's a noble nation. We're trying to defend ourselves against people who killed us on 9/11. And then you go out there and you talk to a lot of younger people. And this is what gets me. That your constituency are not exactly political science PhDs.
So now, so then you supporting what Bill O'Reilly saying. He's trying to say that, just like you said, Ghana, that Lupe audience is stupid. Like, we're going to listen to what he say and just go with what he say and have no thought of our own. Do no research, kind of like you did when you start building on this. I'm assuming you did no research on what the hell both of these motherfuckers was talking about, because you would have, well, I couldn't say that. I can't determine what you would think. But I would say that, it would be hard for the person with the average intelligence to look at America's foreign policy and not say, if you were in that country, that you would not take that as a terrorist act? Why do you think these motherfuckers are mad at us? Bill O'Reilly talking about 9/11. You know what I'm saying? That's what they saying. That's what the Taliban and all these people are saying. Why they do these things? Because they feel that America is occupying their land. You know what I'm saying? Now we may think it's right. You know, here in America, we may think it's right because we may feel that it's just. Maybe we've been told it's just. Maybe we just really believe it's just because we pay attention to what's going on. But regardless of what we believe, to somebody else, that's terrorism. And we would be the biggest terrorists because we are the superpower in the world. We occupy more places in the world than any country. We have military bases all around the world. Build on, man.
It's okay. They're impressionable kids.
I don't think that matters. I don't think you need
No, but they listen to you,
to
Mr.
understand politics. To understand politics, I don't think you necessarily need that. And I don't think that politics are as complex as people like to make them seem or out to be. Richard Nixon said that, you know, they reduced fear by reducing the causes of fear. And in that same interview, which I spoke about, you know, calling Obama a terrorist and every president before and after him a terrorist, right, is that if you're going to fight terrorism, right, true terrorism, you know, weaponized fear. In defense of ourselves, we're actively fighting something else. But if you're going to fight terrorism, to me, you fight the root causes of terrorism.
Boom. Now you said, let's go back to your bill, because you said that Lupe couldn't explain himself. Seemed really good explaining what he was saying. He basically saying that America's foreign policy causes is a terrorist act. He also stated that it's because of the foreign policy. He stated that let me go back real quick because I want to make sure I get it right. I'm gonna go back just a touch. Let's go back. Boom.
We're actively fighting something else. But if you're gonna fight terrorism, to me, you fight the true terrorism. You know, weaponized fear.
True terrorism, as he said, was weaponized fear. You see what I'm saying? So terrorism, as if you ask anybody in America, that's what they kind of say the terrorists do. They come in with weapons, whether it be somebody who does a suicide bombing, whether it be something like 9/11 where they use planes, whether it be somebody that come into wherever with a shotgun, machine gun, whatever, trying to kill. That's terrorism. When you scare people by having them in fear because they know that you would use a weapon to take life for whatever cause that you think that you're taking it for. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's saying. So he also said, if we want to tackle the issue of terrorism, or if we as Americans feel that there's a problem in another country that affects us, then we got to tackle the root problem. We can't go over there and just occupy somebody else's site and their land and demand that they see the world like we see it and run their country like we run ours. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do? And what is the root cause? Well, if you talk to these motherfuckers, if you listen to what the news reports say and what maybe if you read on the internet and all that, because I don't know no terrorists, I don't know anybody in the Taliban or anything like that, but from what my little research have come up with, they say that they want America out of the Middle East. They want America out of all the countries that I guess like their homelands in their mindset, whatever it is. Because once again, I'm not no aficionado on Taliban or anything like that, but their beef is us out of whatever country they want us out of. So if that's the root problem, why not leave? Should we leave? Can we leave? But that's the root problem. If we continue to add on to the problem by just going other places to attack motherfuckers, that ain't gonna solve nothing. Now we can do it that way. That's our mentality. But going back to what we building about, you saying that Lupe didn't explain himself. Seems really explanational to me. To the point. Direct. Now you may not agree with it, but he damn sure explained himself. But let's go back to your bill, brother. Let's go back to yours.
It's not even, he just sounded like, all the reason I'm on here because I got to, because of hip hop. I shouldn't have said it. I was high. God,
Damn, man. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. One of your comments here, somebody called you somebody said, shut the fuck up, you house nigga. Now I wouldn't say that to you, brother, because I'm a righteous brother and I love my people, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta check your thinking process. If this real talk, if that's the way you think, I mean, you just basically said this brother was high. How you know he was high? That sound like some shit that a white motherfucker would say, or a racist motherfucker would say to a brother who said something that they didn't agree with. Build on.
And I said, oh man, I look like such an idiot, please. And he looked dumb, like he looked stupid. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, Lupe, he has balls. He said what was on his mind.
Damn right he had balls. Call somebody stupid and dumb. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? When you build, when you talk to somebody, if you want to come like he came, you know what I'm saying? Even though Raleigh was trying to make him look, and Raleigh is one of those agitators. He's just an agitator, one of those dudes like to start shit and rile people up. You know what I'm saying? You see how Lupe addressed his shit? He spoke when he felt like he needed to speak. And when he spoke, he was clear, he was direct, he said what he had to say, and he didn't get shook by what the fuck Mr. O'Reilly was trying to say or try to twist his words or nothing like that. That's stupid, that's dumb, that's intelligence, brother. Build on.
Yes, he did, give him props for that, but it was not logical, wasn't a smart thing to do, because he didn't have any facts to back up nothing.
Facts? Let's see if he has some facts. I don't know. Let me go back on.
In defense of ourselves, we're actively fighting something else. But if you're going to fight terrorism, to me, you fight the root causes of terrorism.
The root causes of terrorism are many. Okay, they're varied. It depends region to region and all of that. The United States cannot cure ills in the world.
Even Bill O'Reilly just stated he just basically proved his point. He proves Lupe Fiasco's point in that one little statement. Let's go back and hear it again.
It depends region to region and all of that. The United States cannot cure ills in the world.
The United States cannot cure ills in the world. So what are we trying to do? Why are we trying to cure ills all over the world, which is causing this terrorism? You feel what I'm saying? Build on.
What the President of the United States' responsibility is to protect you and me. That's his responsibility. And he's doing it through aggressive action. So, Navy SEALs killed Bin Laden. You okay with that?
With them hunting down a criminal, a person who's responsible for the deaths, right, of innocent people? Yeah, I have nothing wrong with that.
Boom. I'm going to let you see some. I'm going to show you how an intelligent brother answers a question. You see what I'm saying? You see how Bill O'Reilly tried to trap that brother? He tried to trap him into saying something that would make people look upon Lupe with ill contempt, because he said, so when they killed Bin Laden, how do you feel about that? Understanding and knowing who Lupe is and how he's thinking, he's trying to trap him so that he can say, well, I didn't want it. I disagree. They shouldn't have killed Bin Laden. So that people can look at Lupe with ill contempt, because they like, well, damn, why wouldn't you want to kill the person who killed all these people in 9/11? First, who said Bin Laden did it? You know what I'm saying? Second, you know what I'm saying? This is America, right? And even in America, we definitely believe in trials and juries and all that stuff. Due process, brother. And he didn't get any. But even barring all that, if you don't think that Bin Laden supposedly did that, and I mean deserved any of that, and you've really felt that he did it, and you were okay with America going in and killing him and all that, you see how he answered the question? Let's look and see how Lupe answered that question. Just listen how intelligent brother answers a question when he's trying to be trapped into a box.
With them hunting down a criminal, a person who's responsible for the deaths, right, of innocent people? Yeah, I have nothing wrong with that.
Boom. What'd he say? He said, hunting down a criminal who's responsible for the deaths of people, many people, hundreds of people, whatever the term was, he said, I have no problem with that. He did not say Bin Laden. Because that's not even what the fuck they talking about. They talking about the issue of him saying that Barack Obama is a terrorist. So he's not going to let Mr. O'Reilly trap him into another little box to try to make him look like a terrorist lover, I guess you want to, or a terrorist supporter, or something like that, or a Obama hater, or a American hater, or whatever the case may be. He answered the question direct and real. You know what I'm saying? You don't let yourself get caught up into no trap. Keep going, Luke.
Yeah, so when Bin Laden got killed, you didn't have any problem with that. That was okay, legitimate action.
You know what I had a problem with?
And you see how he tried to re-energize the format, the question, so that he can present it with the hope of trapping him again. See, and if you can take note to this, because all the tactic that Lupe is using is the same tactic. If you listen to any politician, that's how they do. When they don't want to answer your fucking question, they take and answer something else, or just start their own little statement from some other perspective. Now watch what he say after he asked that question the second time. Let's see.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
So when Bin Laden got killed, you didn't have any problem with that. That was okay, legitimate action.
You know what I had a problem with? The war in Afghanistan.
See, so he tailors it back to, let's talk about Afghanistan. You feel what I'm saying? That ain't dumb, brother. That's intelligence. He's thinking why he's motherfucking on this show, because he know what he's up against. He did the knowledge to who he's talking to, but it's easy because we all know who Bill O'Reilly is. But let's listen to your bill. Continue.
He said, like, you cannot say the president is a terrorist. You can't say that and 100% mean it because the president.
Okay, hold on.
The president gets information from other people. Like, the president is.
What does that mean? How does that mean he can't call the president a terrorist? Because the president gets information. So you're saying that the president has no power, he's not doing anything, he's like a puppet in a sense, because the CIA and the intelligence department is running everything. That's the problem then. What the fuck do we vote for this dude for? You know, why do we vote him into office if he's not the president in power? Take, for example, due to knowledge to President Bush's 2 terms. Look how much shit he done by himself. Decisions he made and went upon. So you saying that the Obama don't have no power? That he's not in control of what's going on? Wrong, brother. Wrong. Continue.
This a person, like, he the head, that he has people he has to answer to. So even
the head don't have to answer to nobody. So there's more than the head. What about you? Let's take instance about your body. You have arm, leg, arm, head, and then you have your body in the center, your mass, your center mass, and on top of that you have the dome, your cranium, your head. That's your CPU. You see what I'm saying? Is there something bigger than that? Do you take your cues in life of what to do and how to act from somewhere or something else outside of yourself?
me sometimes, I'm a little critical of the president, and I shouldn't be sometimes, and I look at it now in different light, saying, you know what, he really don't control what he do. So if they go to Afghanistan and he says they're coming out or they're going there for this reason, he has to say that. Like, he has to. If he does not say that, he might die.
Boom. So you saying that somebody's going to kill our president if he don't follow suit? Who? Who are these powers, man? Who's behind the scenes, bro? Because if somebody's behind the scenes like that, we need to address that, man. That sounds like that conspiracy theory stuff. You see what I'm saying? You know? So if there is a power higher than the president and somebody is in charge of our president, then we have a problem. We have a motherfucking problem. Bigger than the Lupe calling the president a terrorist. Then he's not a terrorist. He's a coward. That's what you're calling. You calling him a coward. You calling him a puppet, an employee. I mean, he's not the president. The president is what? Let's look it up, man. Let's look it up. I like to look the words up. You know, we get a president, get a deep understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what the. Hold on. I gotta stop talking when I say that. I hate typing this shit. President. There we go. Alright, the president. The highest executive office of a modern republic. As the chief executive of the United States. Chief executive. Highest executive office, an officer appointed or elected to preside over an organized body of persons. To preside over, that means he's in charge. The chief officer of a college, university, society, corporation. Alright, a person who presides. Okay, so boom. Basically a chief officer. Person in charge. So he's not the president. We might as well put him back in the Congress as a congressman, and, you know, whoever is in the intelligence office or the CIA that's running shit, just make them the president. Build on.
He put his own life in danger. I mean, what do you want? Now, if Lupe can't respect the guy having to do what he got to do to keep his life, to keep his job, you can't respect Lupe because he released the album that he said he didn't like, but he had to steal.
You said that yourself. You said that he didn't. He said he didn't want the songs to come out, but they were going to put it out and all that. He had no control over it. This is contractual agreements and shit like that. This is a business. This is a business situation he has with his record company, and his record company is the power that be. There's a president of the record company. He is an employee of the record company. You feel what I'm saying? Or they conjunction working together, if you really want to look at it, because the artist is an independent entity within itself. But yeah, when you sign that contract, the record company looks out for his interests more than anybody. Make sure that they have power over their interests, their artists. You know what I'm saying? And hell no, I ain't got no sympathy for the president. I ain't got no sympathy for him at all. If his life is in danger, hey, I can respect the fear that a man can have when that happens. But you should never took that office, because you took an oath. You took an oath, and the Constitution states, you know, the Constitution and the structure of government is put in certain positions, like we just went over, which was, you know, all the different branches from executive to judicial and legislative. So if the president is the chief executive officer, and he's saying that his life is in danger because of that, then he's going to have to put his life, he's going to have to risk it. He's going to have to let us know. Maybe we can protect him if that's the case. But the answer is not to go out and do devilish shit because somebody else is telling you to do devilish shit. Build on.
Videos for it. He promoted it. He been on tours for it. So he's in the same boat in so many words. So at the end of the day, just make music. And when you step into the political world and saying stuff like that, at least back it up. At least back it up, because at the end of it,
I say the same thing to you, brother. When you step into the political world and start talking shit to answer somebody's shit, back it up. Pull it out. Do the knowledge. Explain your statements. Bill.
It doesn't make sense coming from you, because you can't even control your own album sales. You can't even control what songs come out that you wanted. You can't even control your life in so many words.
He can't control his life. What do you know about this dude's life? Other than the fact that he make music for a company that had some power over the release of his album. You think that's all he's about? What about his family? What about his kids, if he got any? A wife, if he got a girlfriend, if he got his everyday life? You know what I'm saying? Do you have control over your world? The way you saying he's supposed to or he don't? You just said Obama don't. So, I mean, what's the difference? At least he's out there speaking it. He spoke against the fact of the problem he had with his record label, right? He didn't shut up about it. You see what I'm saying? Like you saying Obama is doing. He didn't follow suit. He spoke up. Now, whether or not he won or not, he was risking his record company. He's risking his career. He's risking his contract and all that shit. His money. His livelihood. But he did it.
The balls to say the president is a terrorist.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, man. So
that's your problem.
Shout out to Bill O'Reilly, though. I mean, that was a surprise, wasn't it? A guy from Fox defending Obama. What's the conspiracy about that?
He wasn't defending Obama. He was defending America. He was defending what he believes is America. This cookie cutter bullshit that the government is all out for its people. They out to make motherfucking money, man, and they out to control their interests in the world. And Bill O'Reilly is a puppet that distracts motherfuckers. He wasn't defending no Obama. He could give a damn about Obama. Next week, if you watch shows after this, next week he putting down Obama in every possible way. Build on.
That's weird right there, because I did a blog a couple of years ago where I said Bill O'Reilly is not a racist. And then people say, what, he is, yes he is, but I'm like, how, he's not. He like,
you got me there, brother. I can't really tell you O'Reilly is a racist. Definitely, because I don't know what the hell is in his mindset. But I can tell you, he act like a racist. Think about that, brother. Think about that. You don't know this dude, and you saying he's not a racist? Now what if he is? You be defending the racist, and you're a black man. Come on, man. You can't believe that, Bill, man.
His opinion. Now he's defending Obama, and people still looking at it like, oh yeah, he defending him. Why? Is it because he's a racist still? That's why I say don't always jump to conclusions calling someone a racist, because it just doesn't make any sense. You can look at Lupe as a racist if you want to, but I just think he's just
so we can't look at O'Reilly as a racist, but we can look at Lupe as a racist? Wow. Wow.
He's a smart, dumb dude right now. He has a lot of knowledge you don't know.
How you a smart, dumb dude? Don't they cancel each other out? Can't be both. Now who are you to determine what he is? Do you know his intelligence level? You know what he got on his SATs, if that matters? I just wanted to put that out there. But how you know what he knows? Have you sat down and have a conversation with this brother? You defending Bill O'Reilly, who you don't know, and you destroying Lupe, who you don't know. Oh, look at it, man.
How to really channel it, and it's just coming out wrong, and he's forcing the corner to say some stuff that he didn't really mean at the end of the day. He probably wish he didn't say it.
How are you speaking for this dude?
But he got so much pride, he don't want to take it back. Now he's in the hole now. And I'm gonna be surprised to see how he gets out of this hole. I'm gonna be surprised to see what transpires with Lupe in the years to come, man. But shout out to Lupe, you know, for standing behind his word, not copping the plea. But you was wrong, bro. You shouldn't have did it. You should have just said, you know what, I jumped to conclusions, I'm sorry. Should have made a statement, but hey. And not only that, one more thing, I think Lupe is in a position that a lot of us is not in as far as financially, where if he don't like the way America is running, and he is so much for peace, and he think America is just run by, you know, warmongers and all of that stuff, he's in a position where he don't have to talk, he can just leave.
I like that one. I'm glad we got to this part. Leave? And go where? Where? When America is everywhere and controlling everywhere. And then the places that they are, it ain't no motherfucking better. And every place in the world there's a ruling power who's running shit for their benefit and not for the benefit of the people. If you heard Lupe, that's what he said. He's not a Republican, a Democrat. He's not any of that political shit. He's speaking for the people. Build on.
He can just move out of America and do what he has to do for himself, his family, and be, you know, sane. You know, he can be ethnically, morally secure. Like, why be in a place where you...
Oh, yeah, and where should he go? Please tell me the country that he needs to go. Because if you know a country that we can go to and everything is straight and on the up and up, then I'm shipping out with Lupe. We can both go.
Feel that everything you do is to push war. Why be in a place where you making money off a place? You making money from a place where everything is to push war.
You see, and this is why you got that comment on your page calling you a house nigga, because that's a racist comment. You know what I'm saying? He was born here, and I don't know this brother's ancestry, Lupe's, when I'm speaking, but I'm going to assume just for the sake of this argument, that his ancestry is of African descent that came over here during the slave trade. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm also going to assume the same to you. You know, unless you can tell me something different. But, you know, that being said, you act like we got a motherfucking choice. He was born here. Why the fuck should he have to leave any damn way? You know what I'm saying? That sound like some shit a white motherfucker would say, you know, like, go back to Africa shit. For what? What's over in Africa? But the same shit that's over here. 10 times more worse. And why should he make money off it? That's what he's making money off. His passion and the shit that he's saying from his heart. You feel what I'm saying? He's not speaking for you or the people that listen to his music. He's speaking for himself. Now, if you like what you hear after he speaks for himself, then great. If you don't, then fuck it. He will lose money. You see what I'm saying? Build on.
Just leave. If you feel that strongly that the person in charge is a terrorist and everything they do is to be terrorism and you so much against that type of stuff, just leave. You know? That's how I would feel. Like, I honestly would feel that way. If I feel...
So you saying it ain't nothing wrong in this country since you ain't trying to leave. And I'm not leaving no motherfucking where. This is my country. I was born here and raised here. And my ancestry built this country. On their backs. I lay claim to this shit because it's mine. You feel what I'm saying? So hell no, we ain't leaving. We're going to change this motherfucker. And make it right. And to do so, you got to speak up and say shit that people don't like to hear. Build on.
Like, you know, I'm totally against America and everything it stands for because it's nothing but terrorists, tyrannous people, and they're idiots. And then I had the money to leave, I would just leave. I wouldn't even cause myself all the hardship and pain and emotional distress of living in a country that does nothing but fight wars. And I'm making a living off of the same people that I wish wasn't even born. Like, it's troops that buy your music. It's just so much of a intertwined triangle type thing, and I'm rambling. I'm done. Peace out.
To you, brother. Come on, man. So this goes out to the brother, the blog, TheNikbagtvZone. Yo. Man, yo. I see you love, man, for real. Nothing but love. I just have to answer that video of yours because you're wrong. You way off base. You know what I'm saying? Way off. Answer me. Peace.